and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are on the sidelines with the sideline guys, and we are about to promote. So you're gonna get a second version of this intro in a couple minutes, but it's okay. Uh, YouTube will probably be the only ones that see this anyway, and that was a bar. Okay, so let me grab. Ah, shit. We should have updated this. UFC 297 full card breakdown, all caps, like a couple goobers. Sean, you don't get fucking top billing. Chris and Sean.
Yeah.
This guy. Sean, discuss all things Dynasty MMA and I hope I'm spelling this right. Yep. UFC 297.
Mm,
Okay. Would you mind tweeting the thing out, brother?
Alrighty.
All
Okay, I
right.
gotta get to Twitter now.
So there goes that. Let me go to YouTube. Grab this bad boy because we're fucking live.
Oh, look at this. I see it.
All right. And now I'm dropping this in the chat. Boom. I'm dropping this in this chat. Boom. In this fucking chat.
All right. See, there we are.
Boom. And then last one. Where's this shit at? The chop shop.
Oh shit! I retweet myself. Fuck me.
Live on YouTube, you fucks. Okay. Twitter. We live. Hop in and chat
Yeah.
shit about USC 297. Pop. Throw that in there. Oh my god. Why did it not embed? That looks terrible. That looks terrible. I just got wrecked. All right. We live.
We back. It's been a while.
297. Yeah, it's been a long fucking road, brother, but we are here.
Yes.
We got a couple things going on right now, which you love to see. Oh yeah, look at this guy. You're just superior. You're the superior sideline guy, clearly.
What I do?
Join 297. Because you tweeted this out faster than me, man. This guy just is as quick as the fucking wind over here. All right, one
That's
more
what I do.
link and I'm done. And then we're ready to start, brother. I'm sorry for the delays.
Yes.
Oh, I'm also live on Twitter. That's cool.
Yes, you are. I made sure you were.
Look at this guy. Look at this dude. All right. Share. There we go. All right. And just like that, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? You are on the sidelines with the sideline guys. And today, people, today we are live for our very first MMA edition of the show in 2024. And I have the honor of being joined by none other than the Lord's favorite co host, the man who had to overcome the plague itself in order to be here before you today, the only man that can confidently say that his TV setups are better than mine. How's it going, Sean?
It's going well. It's going well. It's good to be back. It was definitely a tough January, that's for sure, and December. The sickness got to me. You know, it's
Trains.
the train's coming by just to let me know. But man, that was it. This was the most sick I've ever been, I think, in my life in a consecutive period. Getting COVID, pneumonia. Now I have some side effect where I can't hear out of my left ear right now. It's brutal. This has not been a fun month, and but I'm glad to be back. It's been a tough road, but man, I can't wait for tomorrow.
Man, you said it, and I'll give you your props. This dude is the Jim Miller of podcasting, just fighting through all the diseases to find his way back. And God damn it, we've missed you. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Obviously, we had a lot planned for last year. We've got even more planned for this year, God damn it. So we're jumping right into it. But I think it's really important that we wrap up our season last year because of course, we've racked up a whole bunch of different episodes talking about this damn sport we love. And it's only right that we talk about our results for the year and obviously look forward to next year, especially when it comes to Dynasty MMA. So, on that foot, I think it's only right that I give the folks what they've been waiting for, right? What they've all been anticipating since last year. Our 2023 standings went as follows. So hear me out, Sean, because I know you're excited about this one. Sean finished the year on head to head picks with a record of 136 wins, 75 losses, three draws, and four no contests, while I unfortunately got my ass kicked and finished the year 132 wins, 79 losses, three draws, and four no contests. You kicked my ass, Sean. Okay. And
I'll
it
take
didn't
it.
feel good. I didn't want to. I mean, I did mention at the start that I knew that this was not my strong suit, right? I said, I don't care if I ever win this, because I was pretty positive I never would. But this is what I care about, right? This Dynasty MMA. It's all about the dynasty I'm trying to create. And god damn it, it was a long road, but we finished up with a very, very close record of okay, it is right here. 47 wins, 22 losses, two draws, one no contest for me, the winner, of course. While you finished the year 46 wins, 30 losses, one draw, and one no contest. So, despite you having many more games and opportunities to get over on me in the win column, god damn it, I found a way to eke it out. I think moving forward, we really need to focus on win percentage because as of right now, I still only hold a 1 point lead over you in the overall dynasty standings, which we'll be keeping record of in the background as we continue. But how did you feel about our first debut, right? As far as making our picks, doing our dynasty league, and where we ended up, brother?
I enjoyed it. It was very, I would say, more tough for me in the beginning because shooting from doing simple picks and stuff is easy to do in the moment. But thinking long term and trying to go, all right, we got to think dynasty. All right, this fighter's fighting this week. What is he going to look like in 6 months from now? What is he going to look like 2 years from now? That was a bigger change for me. I've never had to do that for MMA. So I think in the beginning I struggled a lot, but I started to get a hang of it, and I'm only down one in the win column, even though I think I had like six more fights than you. Um, I think that'll change though because now I had fighters go on later on throughout the year in 2023. I think we'll start to even out, early in 2024, and this is gonna be fun. Now that I know like how to draft, a little bit better. I'm definitely not a perfectionist at that, but I am feeling a little bit better about it. There are certain picks that I definitely wish I could take back, but sometimes you get these cards that have very slim pickings, and we got to go with that four. So it definitely makes it a little bit harder, but I'm very very excited for 2024 and beyond. That's for sure.
Couldn't have said it better myself. After this year, man, I'm starting to think maybe after 2024, we're gonna have to turn it down from 4 to 2 or something like that. Because
Definitely.
last week, we had a shit ton of fighters each. I had seven, you had six. This week, we actually have the fortune of having zero.
Good.
So that's going to be interesting to pick between all the fighters available at 297 and beyond. But before we get into 2024, because we got standings there to recap as well, I just wanted to finish off by giving a nice little graphic that shows exactly some of the more intricate stat lines that I bandied about. I fucking did the math. I took the time to figure out where all of these fighters land as far as weight classes in the UFC, just so we could get a better idea of, what kind of people were interested in drafting, right? All of those beautiful things. So, the MMA Dynasty Draft League update. We've got 72 total fighters drafted on my side of things. The top three divisions for my draft consisted of 155 pounds, lightweight being my number one division with 11 fighters. And then it was a four-way division tie. Could you believe that? At least I'm diversifying my bonds here. I've got 205, 170 pounds, 135, and women's 125, all having 8 fighters, which I was actually pretty astounded by. I knew women's 125 was the new banger women's division, but goddamn, I didn't realize I would be that heavy on that division compared to the others. As far as Sean's side of the board, he also is a whore for the lightweights, sitting at 100 and
Absolutely.
no, I said 155. He's sitting at 14 155ers, 10 bantamweight fighters, and 9 middleweight fighters, one of the worst divisions in the UFC. So I'd love to see that. I mean, I can't talk too much shit because my third is also 185, but hey, you got 3 more. So we got that to look forward to. And then finally, right, I thought it was only right that we add up between the both of us, right, to get an idea of what are the top 3 divisions that were drafted, regardless of whose draft it was, right? So we've got top 3 total fighters drafted for lightweight. We've got 25 fighters between the both of us. God damn it. Bantamweight, we've got 18 each, and you have 10, and I've got 8. So I got to catch up on that front. And then featherweight, we're sitting at 16 apiece. I think this is indicative as far as what are the deepest weight classes in the UFC. So I love to see those stats. And now finally, the bottom 3 divisions, the shit league, right? What is your catchphrase here, brother? Bum leagues
Bum
only.
leagues only.
Let's fucking go. Our bottom 3, we've got women's 145, 0 motherfucking fighters drafted, and most likely this won't even be a division
Probably
next
not.
year, folks. So keep an eye out for that one. Next up, women's bantamweight. Between the both of us, only 3 women's bantamweight fighters on our roster. Says a lot about how terrible this division
For
is.
sure.
But hey, we got a chance to draft a couple right now, so who knows? We might jump right into that and add to that total. But finally, the third least drafted division. It's an interesting thing to say. Women's strawweights, 9 fighters total. So I thought this was pretty interesting to dive into this data. Thought it told a lot about where we're looking at things, but I think it also should influence the way we look at our drafts moving forward to some extent, right? So I'm excited to put a bow on 2023. I know most of you are like, oh, you already just did. Yeah, well, listen, motherfucker, we've got an exclusive MMA Dynasty League perk here, and that is that at the end of the year, both of us have the opportunity to drop 4 fighters simultaneously. We do not have a choice. We have to. But we have the option to drop up to 6 fighters total from our team, but we have to drop 4. Finally, once we decide who we all are dropping and we have the dropped pool, you and I get one chance if we so desire. We don't have to, but only if we want to. We get the chance to steal somebody from that drop pile. Sean, you're in the fucking hot seat, brother. Who are you kicking off of Gilligan's Island first?
Oh, all right. Right to me. Okay. So there's a couple that I could start with. There's a lot of names here I still have to go through. Let's start with Montserrat Conejo. I'm gonna drop her first. I think that works for me.
Without me saying that immediately after you drafted her, I'm like, dude, what are you doing? And then weeks after, it just kept getting worse, right? This, in my opinion, no shade, right? I don't want to talk too much shit, right?
No,
I
talk
already
it.
won the contest,
Talk
right?
it.
I already won the contest, right? I don't gotta talk too much shit. This is undoubtedly the worst pick of the entire dynasty draft, like of the entire dynasty draft, and there's an argument for the second worst pick in 2024. But with all that
For
being
sure.
said, I love this move. It is my turn, and now
Dude,
this
you
was
get
much harder
slim
for me.
pickings, man. You gotta just go for it. All right.
Yeah, I feel that. Sometimes you got to jump right off the goddamn train. This one is hard for me. I'm not gonna lie. I have a lot of people that I'm very interested in, but I think given how many fighters I have in this weight class, and given how I feel about this fighter's future, I'm sorry. I love you under most circumstances, but you gotta go Tanner Bozer. You have been kicked off, brother. You are no
Mm.
longer a part of the dynasty squad. He goes into the pool, and it is now your turn,
This
Sean.
is gonna be weird because this is gonna like sound like I'm, staying with like a specific group of people, but this is.
He's just picking all women, just fucking sexist, sexist as hell, bro. I already know.
Oh man, this is tough. Just because I know how
It's real
bad this is
tough.
about to look for me. Man, gosh. God, there are some picks here that I really wonder what I was thinking that day. Uh, let's but until I can come up with two other ones for the minimum. Let me get Ricci off. I want Tabitha Ricci off the team.
Wow, wow, that one hurt me.
Yeah, it
Not
hurt.
gonna
It
lie.
hurt me too. But I had to do it. I had Mackenzie Dern in the same one, and so
Oh
there,
shit. Okay.
I think you can understand my reasoning for why she was
Honestly, bro,
drafted.
I would have kept Dern over Ricci, but I mean, I would have kept Ricci over Dern, but
Yeah,
it
don't
is what it
worry.
is. She is already gone. She's
Don't
already gone.
worry.
All right, next up. This one, honestly, when I made the pick, it felt like the steal of the year. So kind of got to just wash this
Yeah,
one off
wash
of me,
it.
man. This is my brother right here, Martin Boudet. I share many
Wow.
similarities with this man. I'm sorry. If you get knocked out by Gaziev, you're gone.
I'm surprised you were so hyped up on him. I'm
Yeah,
surprised
I
by
was.
that.
I'll probably end up back around on this train. Maybe you'll be the first guy that gets drafted twice. We'll see.
Oh man. All right, hold on a second. I just want to make sure that I'm picking the right person with this next one. Oh man, this is something. Hold on a second here. I'm confusing him with someone else. Hold on here. If you know who you're gonna get rid of, you could go in front of me because it's not like it really matters in this
All
moment.
right. All right. Well, I'm going with my third one right off the top, and it's the first woman that I am getting cut off my team. Ty Tamirez Vidal. I'm so sorry, but you didn't give me a lot of excitement in the last fight, and god damn it, that's what I drafted you to do. So it is now Sean's turn for the second time. Let's see if he shits the ball again with that
All
one.
right, let's get Dern off the team.
Wow, doubling up.
Yeah, yeah, I'm going with Dern, and then to go
Big Mac
again,
herself.
I'm getting rid of Rolando Bedoya. I think I'm
Wow.
done with him as
What
well.
did he do?
I think I'm just I gotta clean slate here. I gotta.
What the fuck did he
It,
do? Didn't he win his last fight?
no, he's I think he's 0-2 in the UFC. He hasn't
Oh,
he's had some close fights, but I can't draft him and then go over 2 with me. I'm sorry. It's just it doesn't work for me like that. So you got to be a winner, or you can't be here. So
Damn, bro. Fucking hurts. That hurt me. Honestly, this one was really hard. It was between two people, and I think the actually I have more light heavyweights. Yeah, no. With all due respect, that other guy has black genetics, so I'm keeping that guy. All right, we've got the one and only Mick Parkin, and just like that, I'm finished. I'm no longer going to be dropping any more fighters. Sean, do you take me up on that offer, or are you also finished dropping
no,
fighters
I'm
for
not done.
2023?
I'm not done.
Ooh, holy shit. Okay.
Let's get rid of Zach Reese.
Wow. Don't even give him a second
Nah,
chance.
I gave him the chance, and then he got fucking power slammed. All right, that did it for me. You showed your colors, even though I think he still is going to be pretty good. I just think I took him a little too early.
Mhm. Yeah, a rare time where you not only picked them for Dynasty, you picked them for the picks and just got absolutely
Yeah,
buried in round one.
that hurt. And I think he has a pretty good career ahead of him. I just don't know how I feel about it. And there's another fighter I'm really on the fence about. This is tough because I don't know how I feel about how he's going to be in 2024. I'm just looking over my list, just making sure. And there's another one too that's a big name that I think could be the end of him in about a fight or two.
The end of him.
Yeah,
We're getting bleak
the end of
on the show,
his
guys.
career, I think, is coming to an end.
Damn.
I might have to wait it out for a year, but give me for my final pick, get Andre Muniz off my fucking team.
Holy shit! I didn't expect that one.
Yeah,
Can you do me a favor while I'm doing this? Can you just delete them
from
from
my
the
team.
Dynasty tab?
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
What is the dude's name again?
Andre
Remind
Muniz.
me. There we go, Andre Muniz. All right, so we've got the bum league only. This is the most exciting part, if you ask
I
me.
love this.
We get to steal. We get to steal right now, which I'm really pumped for. I think it's very clear who I'm
I
going with.
know.
We got Baby Shark doo 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 doo, baby.
Yes, it's all yours.
Oh yes, I would gladly take this, brother. All right, who you going with, if
I'm not
anyone at
taking
all?
any of yours.
Really? Holy shit! Look at this guy.
I want
Look at
to go
this guy.
fresh. I got too many
All
names
right,
here.
let's do it. And just like that, we are done with 2023 in Dynasty. And now we recap last week before we get into 297 after fucking 50,000 minutes. Last week, you are kicking my ass on all fronts, brother. I got to be honest here. We starting 2024 just getting ragged, okay? You are currently in the lead with a record of 9-2 for your head-to-head picks. Could have been better, but goddamn Tom Nolan got you.
Yep.
But I can't talk too much shit. I'm at 7-4, picking with straight vibes. Arlovsky, I won't forget about this one. But 7-4 in Dynasty, I had 7 fighters. You had 6, and I am currently sitting at 4-3, while you sit at 4-2. How does it feel to start off 2024 on the right foot, brother?
I needed that. It was especially being down with the sickness. You're welcome. I had to start off with a bang. I needed to sort of catch up to you, and that would help because I had one less dynasty than you, and to continue to push the pace on the win column while also helping my win percentage was exactly what I needed, and it helps me out in the picks department because that's an extra 2 games or extra 2 pick. I say games, extra 2 picks now that I have. It helps me. It builds a comfortable lead going into 297.
Yeah, comfortable lead, 2 points, bro. Relax,
Hey, that's a
relax.
whole
Okay,
week right
and
there. You know how hard it is to get 2 picks back each
yeah,
week?
that's true. That's true. Yeah, because you always fucking wait until I make a pick, and then you're like, you know what? I'm
Oh,
picking that guy
this guy's
too.
so full of garbage. This guy always throws it to me like 8 out of the 12 fights. He'd be like, "I'm gonna go to you first." And I know your game plan. This guy tried to reverse psychology me right there. I don't think so. No way.
Hey, I love that impersonation of me. I hope I don't sound like that.
That's
But I
exactly what
think
you
it's
sound
only
like.
right. Oh, okay. Look at this fucking guy. Don't let me pull out the fucking Sean fucking Negron fucking accent, all right? But anyway, we will move on to UFC 297 because we are having too much fucking fun here. Sean, I'm pumped for this
Me too,
card,
bro.
and it's not because it's a good one. Can we agree on
I
that? This
actually,
card fucking sucks.
nah, you know what?
Oh,
Like, yeah, it sucks compared to what we have coming up. But I always enjoy pay per view cards because they're always going to be a little bit better than the Hellscapes, and the Hellscapes are always fucking like horrible compared to name wise. But for guys like us who are dynasty and prepare for what our future could hold, I like these. Like, yeah, this card doesn't make me want to go buy the pay per view, and I probably won't. But it makes me really interested in these first. I think these first like 5-6 fights like have my name on it, and I'm interested in the main card. Two of them not really so much, but to start the main card is great, and even there's some Ultimate Fighter guys. There's some guys from the Contender Series. I'm very very excited for this card actually.
yeah, you could tell the UFC's got us in a stranglehold. God damn it, because this is what we get pumped up for. But I'm not gonna lie. I'm talking a lot of shit. I do like that this is a Canada card, right? We get to get the Canada versus the world experience, which is always exciting, especially with that Canadian crowd. So I agree. I'm also excited for it, but it is one of the weaker cards. Honestly, I would imagine this year, and it's just started as far as pay-per-view events go. But right off the top, I also think it's important to acknowledge, right, when it comes to this 297 card, that we are starved still. Yes, we got the Apex back, we've got Hellscape, but that doesn't scratch the same itch, right? We're back, baby. We're live in 2024 with just an atrocious opening fight. Okay, no matter how much I want to hype this up, no matter how much I want to say I love this, this is two very um if you ask me, non UFC level gentlemen, right? I'm being honest. We got Malcolm Gordon at minus 205 going up against Jimmy Flick at plus 180. I'll take the lead on this one since Sean always tries to disparage me and my pristine name. Um, there's two ways to look at this fight. Jimmy Flick. I like Jimmy Flick, the person, right? I'm rooting for the guy. Jimmy Flick, the fighter, hasn't had too many good moments in the UFC. Obviously, we're all really pumped and excited that he got a flying triangle. That's always fun, right? That's always fun to watch. But after that, he's made some pretty pedestrian guys look pretty darn good. And on the other side of the coin, we have Malcolm Gordon, who I think is a more complete fighter, who I think is one of the most fragile fighters in recent memory. I think it's weird because you watch him fight and he's not a bantamweight, right? But I can't help but feel like this weight cut doesn't help him at all in that sort of department. Durability is a skill, if you ask me, and I've seen this guy's arm break in fights. I've seen this guy uh, to get touched and just get sent to hell. So I'm not happy about having to make a pick here. Like I'm gonna just be real. Uh, if you're betting money on this fight, please call 1-800-GAMBLER like yesterday. Like yesterday, that call needs to be made because friends don't let friends bet on Malcolm Gordon versus Jimmy Flick. But with all that being said, I'm gonna go with the fighter that I think is more well-rounded, and I'm gonna go with Malcolm Gordon. But I'm not happy about it, Sean.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm going with Malcolm too. I think with Malcolm, it's kind of like he pushes the pressure a lot. he constantly is trying to like get in your face, and I felt in the I think it was the Makayev fight, he was constantly trying to push Makayev back towards the cage, and it was a pretty interesting fight those first 2 rounds, and it made it a little bit closer. I think Makayev got the submission like really late in round 3, but it was a lot closer than I thought it would be going into it. I thought Makayev would finish him in the first round, but he made Makayev very, very uncomfortable with the constant backpedal, backpedal, backpedal. And I think even in Malcolm's last fight, same thing, constant pressure. But the thing with Malcolm is that when he's going to constant pressure, it's constantly front hand, right hand, just right towards the head. He's not blocking. So that count, I forgot who he's fighting, but he got hit so easily with the counter to the body that it was like he never saw that being drawn up in camp. Like, oh yeah, if I push the pressure, there's no way he's gonna counter me. Like, he's gonna be on the back foot. And I think he got caught so easily that now it's like he got so exposed. And if it wasn't Flick, I would pick anyone else but Gordon here, because Gordon seems to have a big problem catching weight, and that's I hate when people can't make weight, and I understand the weight issues, and I think weight cutting sucks, and I wish it didn't exist. But if you're picking this class, you got to make weight. Like, I'll give you the pass one time missing it, but back to back missing weight, now that's a problem. And I think this could cost him his. He could be in a lot of trouble in the UFC in his future if he loses this one. That'll be 3 straight, 2 of them missing weight. All getting finished the last 2 times, potentially this time. I picked Gordon here to win, but that's only because Flick, and that he retired early, and he contemplated his career, and ever since he came back, he's just been a step slow. So I picked Gordon here, but I'm not looking forward to this fight. I think this one could go to the distance. And either way, it's a lose for everybody to watch that first fight. But I think Gordon gets the win.
Great shouts. I love that you brought back up the Mokaev fight, because I agree with you. That was probably his best showing and it came in a loss. So that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, um, and you know what's funny? I'm thinking, and I honestly, I want to look this up now because this is bothering me. I actually think Malcolm Gordon broke someone else's arm in one of his fights. Let me make sure this is correct, because this is bothering me now. I can't quite remember whether it was him that broke his arm in that fight or it was his opponent. So let me pull this up. This is terrible podcasting. I know. I'm so
No,
sorry.
this is good. This is
Um,
live podcast, and this is what it's all about.
Hey, look at this guy. What a legend. TKO arm injury against Dennis Bondar. Yes, I was correct.
Yes.
It was not him that lost. It was his opponent. So yeah, one of his 2 UFC wins comes against someone in an arm injury win, and then obviously the decision win against Francisco Figueiredo. I think this win is going to be similar as far as path to victories go. When it comes to that Figueiredo fight, just take him down, rinse and repeat. It does give Flick chances in where he's at, but we already fucking broke it down. I don't know why I'm rehashing it. Next up, we've got Yasmin Jasadavicius. That's a fun one to say. Going up against Priscilla Cachoeira. The odds sit at minus 375 for Yasmin, while Priscilla Cachoeira is plus 575. Once again, this is best fight odds, so there's a lot of different books that are nowhere near as high as Priscilla Cachoeira is, but I give you the best fucking odds here, baby. Sean, how you feeling about women's MMA in Canada?
Well, this fight's actually, I feel like it hasn't been talked about a lot, but I feel like this is a fight where it's got a little bit of some strings attached here with Priscilla, and that fight against, when she had that fight against Gillian Robertson, and that blatant try to cheat, putting the fucking thumb through the eye. I was surprised that no one brought that up. And I think, now that she's going back to Canada to fight another Canadian, this is, I think people don't let that go. And maybe that's something that's within the camp, but I saw some people were talking about it, and I was surprised it hasn't become like, things that everyone's talking about. But that shit's super dirty. That's one of the dirtiest things you could do, because that could end someone's career, doing something like that. just trying to avoid a choke, and which you ended up getting choked anyway. So besides that, I do think this is easily Jasmine's or Yasmin's, whatever. This is 2024. It's going to be the same thing where I can't pronounce a single person's name right. Where I think this is Jasmine's. Is it Jasmine or Yasmin?
You can say whatever you want, brother.
Thanks. That really helps. So I think this is Jasmine's fight to lose. I think she's a way better fighter here. And I think this is something where she could come in and easily push the pace and kind of, it's weird for me because Priscilla, I feel like peaks, and I feel terrible saying this, but I feel like she peaked at fighting these lower level top 15, 13, 14, 15 fighters, and she really can't crack that top 10. And I feel like Yasmin's on her way. Like maybe you feel differently there, but I feel Yasmin, I don't give a fuck what it's called. I think she's on her way here, and I think this is just another stepping stone for her. And I think this fight goes the distance, but I think this is an easy 30-27 for Jasmine.
Interesting. So I just got to start off by saying, yeah, life is a bitch. Shout out to the Leech, Li Jingliang, the only other fighter to my recollection that I have ever seen pull off the good old thumb in the eye as takedown defense. But hey, I will say that move is undefeated in the UFC because both times it prevented the submission and both times the fight continued. So god damn it, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Now, as far as the actual uh repercussions of something like that, I honestly am surprised that both of these fighters got a chance to fight again in the UFC. At this point, it kind of feels like Cachoeira has some dirt on somebody. Maybe it's Dana White. Who knows? Because why the hell is she still here? But I will admit, in this matchup, man, I'm not liking the vibes here at all, brother. I'm not liking the vibes here. So we've got the pressure of being at home. We also have, listen, I love Yasa Davicius. I want her to be good. Like I thought she was at a certain level. The Tracy Cortez definitely made me rethink that a little bit. And then when I watched older fights after that fight, started to see some other things that I was kind of willing to pass over on the first couple of times and being like, hey, actually not as good as probably I thought she was. But either way, I think what makes this a scary fight is on the feet is where Yasa Davicius, in my opinion, is vulnerable. And man, Priscilla Cachoeira, if she's gonna do anything, she's gonna go out there and fucking bang, baby. So this is scary because of that. I'm gonna agree with you though. I'm gonna go with Yasa Davicius. I'm gonna pick her by probably decision. But I am worried about this fight, and there's no way Cachoeira to be plus 575. I might throw a couple dimes on that.
Well, I think that fight with Cortez was kind of like a wake up call because I think she was expecting Cortez to kind of wrestle as well, and the fact that Tracy just went full in on the stand up, I think that surprised her a lot because I think Yasmin or whatever it is, whatever is, I think she's a good wrestler too, and I think they were kind of going with the game plan or studying the film that this was going to be a wrestling sort of affair. And I think that Tracy definitely has some good stand up, but I think they were expecting it to stay on the ground because there were a lot of times where she faked the takedown and she's clear as day open for a clear right hand. And I think Tracy took advantage of that. And that fight, and I was rewatching that fight, I was looking back on it like, man, it almost looked like she studied so much film for the takedown that she had never looked up like, hey, maybe this fight might stand up. And so I think, film can only take you so far, but I think I do think Jasmine or whatever, I think she turns it around. I do.
Dude, I just gotta say, I'm loving 2024 Sean because holy shit, they had to take your fucking senses away. But this man is talking from a different lens in 2024, which
Doing
I
my
love
best.
to hear, man. This is chef's kiss. We've missed you, brother. Next up, Johan Linus, one of my favorite names to say in the UFC, minus 143 going up against Sam Patterson plus 130. I will go first on this one. This is one of those fights where honestly, I don't really have a firm sense of which way to go on this one. I'm kind of like I can see both paths to victory for both guys. I think Sam Patterson is super awkward, but interestingly explosive, right? I think Johan Linus clearly is the more powerful athlete of the two, but both guys are very sloppy. Both guys are kind of there to be hit. I don't know how to feel about this one, man. I'm going back and forth. I'm teetering, but god damn it, I think I'm gonna go with the hometown boy and Johan Linus. But these are both two guys that I'm going to be real. I am not too excited to watch fight in the future, but we'll have it on 297.
Yeah, I see what you were saying here. I think this is more Johan's fight because of, well, multiple reasons. If Siri doesn't stop listening to me, so it's going to cut me out in a second. Hold on. Siri's
Siri,
listening, so it's going to cut me out.
Siri, relax. Okay,
Hmm. Is there something else I can't help with?
There you go.
nothing at all.
There it is. I knew it. My Mac does that a lot, but I think this is weird because for Patterson, I think this is a welterweight fight, right? So Patterson's going up in weight
Yep.
for the first time, and I think this is something where Johan doesn't really excite me. I'm gonna be honest with you. He loads up on the right hand a lot, and it's kind of just he does this same. It feels like it's like when you're like not in rookie mode in UFC, but you're in amateur mode in UFC. You learn that little kick combo of the inside low kick, outside low kick, right overhand right. That's what I see with Johan a lot. Is he constantly tries to keep the distance with these kicks and then waits for him because then the opposite fighter is like, all right, I got to close the distance here. He's constantly doing these leg kicks. I got to close the distance. And then that's where Johan comes in with these crazy overhand rights. And it's to the point now where I'm not overly sold on what Johan could do, but I do think this is his weight. And seeing what Patterson did last time where he was trying to fight the ref, if I remember correctly, he got knocked out and he was so out of it. And he's a skinny guy for his weight class. And now that he's going up, I just don't see this being like a good combination for him. And I can honestly see a weird situation here where Johan connects with that right hand, and I think this will end first. I'll say second round overhand right knockout because I think Patterson will push, and I think he's got a weaker chin. And I think this could be one of those fights that Johan could slip in and get a nice little victory and add it to the highlight reel.
This dude's calling his shot. This dude knows exactly which side it's coming from. I love this. This is amazing. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if Johan gets some takedowns here either. Just
Yeah.
feels like that's just a big size difference here. But we move on. Jillian Robertson. Don't say Gillian, Sean, because you did it earlier. Going up against Poliana Viana, minus 295 for Robertson. Plus 250 for Poliana Viana. Sean, you find a way to always be first with the ladies, brother. Do the damn deed.
All right, so it is Jillian, correct?
Yes.
All right, I told you names never gonna work
I've
for me.
never met a Gillian in my life. I'll be
Hey,
honest.
you never know. They're always out there. All right, you never know. But I mentioned her before. This is her bread and butter of when she comes out and is at peak performance here. Back home, this is a fight where Viana to me doesn't have the greatest of ground game. She's been submitted plenty in her career, and this is like foaming at the mouth for Robertson. This is something where like, oh man, like this is one of those the UFC kind of throws your way without, if you're casual, you don't even know it. But this is one of the UFC throws your way to be like, let's get the Canadian crowd hyped up. This is a big fight. Let's get the Canadian to get her on the ground, submit her like she always freaking does, continue to add to the record books, and get a nice submission victory here. And I think that's what happens here. I can see Jillian getting a first round sub or even a second round sub, but this is going to be a quick fight, I think, and a big one for her.
Wow, look at that. I love it. When I was looking at this matchup, man, there was some things that I was excited about, some things I was a little disappointed in. I think off rip, I am a fan of Jillian Robertson. I want to see her do good in the UFC. Um, but I also do feel that I haven't seen the level of growth and development that I would like to see from her in her career. Um, I think the opposite holds true for Poliana Viana. I think both of these ladies make very predictable mistakes, which makes it kind of hard for me to get a handle on the which way I'm going with this one. I just tend to feel like over the course of their career, I've seen Poliana Viana be a more well-rounded fighter, be someone that can mix it up on the feet, can force fighters to go back, especially at certain disadvantages. So I really do feel a little breeze in the wind, and I swear to God, it has not touched my cock. I'm going with Poliana Viana for the upset win on the road in Canada, and I won't be surprised if it ends up being a dud. But just I don't know what it is about Jillian Robertson's game. I just the visual of when she is already been stuffed 3 times and she looks tired and sweaty and her takedown offense isn't good generally, but when we're 3 takedowns attempt deep and we're still on the feet, man, it gets pretty rough. So
But do you really see
Poliana
Pollyanna
Viana is
stuffing
that
three?
lady. Oh, it's not a matter of stuffing 3. I don't think she will get the chance to stuff 3 because if she gets taken down, she will probably either be finished expeditiously or controlled the whole round. I just feel like the ability for Poliana Viana to shock her either on the feet or on the ground with a submission is there, while also the consideration of on the feet, in my opinion, there is just as big of a gap as there is on the ground, but I would argue even greater. So that's why I like my more well-rounded fighters. But this is a tough one.
I
This is a
need
tough
this though because this is keeps us apart. So I'm gonna be looking forward to this fight the most now, right now.
Oof. And I just got to say, shout out to my guy Arwin. We can't wait to get you back on the show for a little Hawaiian New York threesome. Who knows? But he's saying we're talking about his baby girl Poliana, but he picked Jillian like an asshole. And hey, I couldn't do that to the folks. Okay, I had to make the right move and go with the shorty. But next up, it's only right that we stop being fucking absolute dip shits and move on to what I think is a very fun fight to look
Oh, I
forward
can't
to.
wait.
We have Sergey Saidi at minus 180 going up against a Ramon Tavares. Sean, I'm not gonna lie, man. This is a weird one for me, dude, because
This
obviously
ain't weird for me.
we found out already that Ramon has lost has what am I saying here? Has not made weight, right?
Again,
And obviously, yes, again, after not making weight on the contender series as well, even though I think he lost the one he made weight in. Anyway,
yeah.
um,
Well, no, the
this
one he made
matchup,
weight in, he won. That's what got him the contract.
yes, sir. That's what I meant to say. Thank you, brother. He saves me once again. Um, but yes, that's a great point, Arwin. And I was just getting there, but it's okay. Arwin reminds us, goddamn it, that they fought before, and guess who won?
That's right.
Yeah, it's very clear who won. Sergey won. And I'm gonna be real here. I think as far as analysis of this fight goes, I can go further into that fight and why Ramon lost and why we can end up with that same scenario here. I just feel like in general, the optics of losing weight on top of what I've seen from his tape, I like him as a fighter. Like I'm a fan of Ramon Tavares. Don't get me wrong. But in this matchup specifically, man, Sir Hay seems to be a force to be reckoned with. And if you have the stones to put your fucking shrinked up cock on your fucking MMA fighter page and for everyone in the world to see, god damn it, I gotta respect the man. So give me Sir Hay the favorite.
That's what a way to break that down. I'm glad that I know that now.
Yeah, Google it, brother. Look
I
up
don't
his
want to. No, I'm
Tabology
good.
page. Yeah,
I'm
I'll
good.
send it right now.
No, you don't have to. No, this is the rematch I've been waiting to see because obviously the controversy around the early stoppage. I felt like Sergey was on his way to winning that fight anyway. And you know what? To be honest with you, it's such a blessing in disguise for Ramon because I think he was on the verge of getting finished. You know, it might have been 10 seconds later. It could have happened later. I felt like Sergey was winning that fight, and I felt like it was going to end eventually. But, you know, you get that controversy. Dana buys into it, gives him another fight. He gets the last fight of the last season, dominates against a possibly a non as competitive opponent because they had to make that fight so quickly. Gets his contract. He's in the UFC, and now he gets that rematch. What pisses me off is that the fact that he's almost 140 pounds here, that's crazy. I get it. You get that extra pound, 136, but that's still almost 4 full pounds over the weight limit of the pound they already give you. So that pissed me off. And the fact that you're fighting this guy a second time and you've missed weight both times fighting him. I feel like there's an advantage there for fighters that miss weight because the cut is so much easier now, and replenishing fluids is much easier. You don't feel so drained, and that's the only reason I feel a way towards giving it to Tavares. But I think Sergey's better. I think Sergey makes a statement here and shuts this little controversy up very quickly, and I could see this fight getting finished in the second round. And I think that's the way it's going to go. But I do feel that Ramon could turn this around because of the fact he's this weight cut. But I really feel Sergey dominates here.
Yeah, I just think stylistically it's a real rough matchup for young Ramon Tavares. But can't wait to see his next fight. I hope they give him someone that's willing to bang because that motherfucker does not care about throwing down with you. But next up, we've got Charles Jordan going up against Sean Woodson. We've got Jordan at minus 192, while Sean Woodson comes back at plus 175. Sean, you get to lead the dance about one of your favorite fighters
Ooh.
and your brother in arms. So it all comes full circle.
Now, this is funny for me because I've been not a hater towards Charles, but I've been someone that didn't really believe. I didn't really know your game, brother. Like Shaq once said, I knew it, but like when I saw him lose to Shane Burgos, I thought that was telling. And then what was the other fight when he lost to I think Nathaniel Wood, if I remember correct? No, that's not it. I know it's another fighter in there, but when he lost that, oh my god, I know it's a top tip of my tongue. But when he lost that fight, that was I was like, all right, I think we know. And then when they gave him the Kron Gracie fight, I was like, I think Kron could do it. But Kron took it back to 1992, and I don't know what that style was. And he just totally shit the bed on that. I've never seen a performance like that where you just completely go back in time. So lost on what 2023 was. So yeah, that sucked. And so I still didn't believe. But then I remember in the last time Charles was up, and I'm blanking on names of who he fought, but I think it was Ricardo Ramos. And that fight was I picked against him because I thought, all right, this is gonna tell the difference. I think Ramos is better. I think Ramos will get the job done. But Jourdain got the first round guillotine, if I remember. And I remember you sending me all those messages. I told you. So now I'm on the Jourdain train here, and ayo, pause. But I believe
Nothing wrong with that one. There was nothing wrong with that. Perfectly fine. But go ahead.
And the only reason is because for Woodson, I haven't seen much in him to pick him because I feel like every time I see a chance for him to fight, it's always something happens with this other fighter or him, and there's pulling out of the card. He's not there. No one. He can't fight. I've seen him fight. I think it was 2 or 3 times since like 2021. So it's really tough to go all in on that. And because I've hated Charles so much, I'm gonna go with Air Jordan here. I have to ride this train one time. Ayo, pause again, and. And so I'm going with Charles in Canada with a nice victory.
I'm not gonna lie, brother. That came as a shock to me. Not because I didn't expect you to go to flip flop here, but just the way you went about that, man. I felt like you were kind of ready to railroad me. I didn't follow you
That was the
really,
point.
and then the next thing I knew, it just all hit me over the goddamn head, man. Um, Shout out to Arwin. I love this little rant he's going on in the chat. He's like, he lost to Kron. If it was unlimited rounds, god damn it. This is the UFC we need, bro. Take the gloves off. Shout out to Joe Rogan. Let's get a fucking basketball field. It doesn't even sound right. A baseball field mixed with a soccer field, right? So it's two different fields, two different turfs, and let's just have open surface, unlimited rounds. Let's just go to war, bro. Let's just go to war until we find out who wins. But on a more serious note, looking at this matchup, man, you and Arwin are picking Charles Jourdain, but I'm going the other way. I'm going Sean Woodson here. And it's not because I'm like, man, I'm super impressed with Sean Woodson. I think it's a mixture of factors. The first, I'm a fan of Sean Woodson's boxing, man. This guy goes to work in every one of his fights. And I will admit, I don't like the fragility of his frame, right? You look at him, you're like, man, I don't even need to see him fight to know that he's going to have issues with leg kicks. And that is true, right? He is there to be kicked. Um, but in this matchup, man, I just feel like Charles Jourdain has not proven to me that his fight IQ is all there to be keen enough to fight the right game plan. I think Woodson is just so rangy, and he's very slick as far as the way he moves and where he hits you from. He just has a very good sense of his range. And I think in this matchup, man, there's no way he should be plus 175 against someone that just has such a hard time keeping himself in the phases that he has already shown he's winning. There's nothing more frustrating as a fight fan than to watch someone find a way to win and then take themselves far away from it just because they're excited and in the brawl. And I think Charles Jourdain is, don't get me wrong, all action. This is one of my picks for, hey, this might be fight of the night. Like, this could be an amazing fight. I just feel like over the course of 3 rounds, Sean Woodson has a more consistent path to hurt Charles Jourdain, and I am picking him here because I don't think Charles Jourdain's going to have much success taking him down. The dude is like a fucking table out there, right? No matter what side you throw him on, he lands on a leg. So give me Sean Woodson, the goddamn underdog. I'm loving it. We got 2 head-to-head matchups already, and it's only right that we move on to the Lord's division in 2024. We got bantamweights, baby. Brad Katona at minus 192 going up against Garrett Armfield at plus 185. Um, I'm gonna be real with you here. Brad Katona is one of my favorite fighters, right? And that may come as a surprise to many people. Had a hell of a war in his last fight against Cody Gibson, but that is not Brad Katona. Let me make this very clear, right? Everyone's hailing Brad Katona as the Lord of Violence, and it's hard to argue against that when we consider how his last fight went. Um, but generally, he has been someone that is very risk averse, that is willing to take the sleepy route to a victory, right? Someone that is really good at playing things safe, and something that I said I didn't like about Jordan, finding his way to win and only pursuing that. And even if it means not really pursuing a finish to a certain extent. Now, obviously, it's hard to say this is the narrative on his career when his last fight is so opposite of that. But I'm just a big fan of Katona, and I think he just has so much room to grow in this division. Every time I've watched Garrett Armfield fight, I say this as respectfully as possible. It feels like as the fight goes on, his not his will to fight, but his ability to control his body in there. It seems like as the fight goes on, he sort of loses some of there's some stick drift in that controller, baby. So I'm going with Brad Katona. Probably gets it done by decision or submission, but I'm gonna go decision here. How you feeling, Sean?
I think this is I'm a little bit opposite of you. I'm picking Katona as well, but I think this is yes, Katona's not known for doing what he did with Gibson. I think that was like a once in a lifetime sort of thing where you see someone get that sort of crazy fight of the night, constant someone's gonna fall but no one does, unlimited chin action we get there. But I do think this is another one where we could have a sleeper here where like in a good fight, so to speak, because with Armfield, I think it was Kazuma he beat. That fight was I didn't expect that, and I thought that fight would be a little bit closer. But Armfield's guy who's going to stand up with you. Yes, I know he can bring it to the ground. He's got if he gets the back, it's basically over. But I I think this is going to be a stand up fight. To be honest with you, this is one where I'm still very on the fence about because Katona to me I feel is a completely different fighter than the first UFC go around. To now I feel like he's grown and he's more weirder but more mature. And I even in the Ultimate Fighter, he had some close fights. He had some definite questionable ones, switching teams. But it was obviously winning the Ultimate Fighter twice is something no one's ever done. And I think he's gonna a really fun fighter. And I think people are gonna start like paying attention to him more beyond of what the McGregor name has done for him. So I see a way here where um, Katona gets the job done, and I think this is a sleepy banger. I think this could be another not as crazy as the Cody fight, but this is going to be a good fight, and I see Katona taking this by decision.
This is a great shout, man. I just hate that we're gonna have to see a situation where, no matter how it goes here, Brad Katona's not gonna get an interview. Like, I promise you, bro. No matter what happens here, if it goes to decision, this
I don't
man is
know.
not getting an interview.
I don't
I
know.
promise you.
Well, the fact that 2 fights got scrapped already, they'll have more time.
That's not
That's
true. That is not true.
I think so. I think they'll find a way because I think this one starts at 6:30, right? I think the first prelim starts 6:30 instead of 7. So I
Yes.
think they might have some time here to push. Unless they're gonna
Oh, they don't
do
care. They
something.
don't care about the product. They don't care. They, they don't change shit. Those people fell off this card a while ago. It's not like they fell
It's
off the
true.
wings. You know what
It's
I
true.
mean? Like they allocate this time, and it is what it is. And I promise, if we're heavy on some decisions early, which I could definitely see happening, once we get here, man, they're gonna be like, "Hey, fuck you, dude. This is not the main. This is not the pay per view card. We got to move on." But I'm sorry that I cut you
No,
off.
you're
But I
right.
got excited. I got excited.
I felt that the fact that they scrapped 2, they're gonna kind of drag these out with, especially in the beginning, how much they drag it out, especially if there's like an early knockout in like the first like 2 or 3 fights, how much time they waste between fights. I could see a situation where he doesn't, but I do think the fact that you go from 14 to 12 here, I think we could get a Katona interview. I'm actually looking forward to it.
I love it. I would love a friendly wager on this, but it's okay because I already know whenever Sean puts
I'll
money
put ten
on,
bucks here. I'll put
that's the
10
touch
bucks
of
because I
death.
know I'll
That's the touch
lose.
of
I'll
death.
lose. So I'll do it. 10 bucks. I can risk 10 bucks.
All right, I love it. Let's fucking do it. Next up, we've got Arnold Allen plus 165 versus Movsar Evloev, a fight that I am so fucking excited to talk about, and I love that it falls on your responsibility first
Yeah,
and
see, this is
foremost.
what he does. This is what he
Because
does.
yeah, we get to see which way you're going, how you're feeling, but most
Uh huh.
importantly, this new 2024 Sean just got me bricked up, ready to analyze this featherweight war, man. So I'm not gonna lie, I will stop you to say before you break down the fight, how do you feel about the placement of the fight?
Well, it's kind of like what they did in different situation where they did Gaethje versus Chandler. You kind of have a banger to start off the card. I'm I wish this fight was the co-main. This is literally what I put down in my little notepad. I felt this fight's better than the co-main that we have because this fight's going to be awesome. This is probably this would be my favorite if there wasn't a title fight at the top, but this is probably my favorite fight on the entire card. So I'm picking Arnold Allen here, and I think this is pretty wild here. I understand how good Movsar is. He's really good and undefeated. I think he's gonna be incredible, but I still think Allen is incredible. I think Allen is still a full step ahead here. And to be honest with you, I think Allen's the underdog here. I find a weird odds with this, and maybe you go different here. Maybe you just completely shit on me with your take, but I feel Allen one fight ago would have been the favorite. The fact that he had lost to Max Holloway, I feel like people write you off so quickly in this world. This guy had like a 10 fight win streak, was on his way to potentially fighting, Ilya or Volkanovski was the next talk of the town. But then he had to run into Max and put on a brawl for a main event, an incredible showing, and made that fight a lot closer than people thought it was going to be after those first 2 rounds. So I I love this fight, and I think honestly, I don't think this fight will be that close. I think Allen will win this fight, and I can see a situation where Allen wins by knockout. And I'm not taking anything away from Mofsar, but this is another one of those situations for me where you fight twice since like June or July of 2021. I understand a lot of injuries have happened for him, and a lot of people that he was supposed to fight have pulled out. And I think he was even supposed to fight what's his name just recently before he got slept on. My
Slept on.
God.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, he was supposed to fight Bryce, and then Bryce went to sleep. And
That hurts.
and I love Bryce, but that's what he was supposed to fight. And that was gonna, and like that's the difference though, is I feel that was supposed to be his next like up and coming in talent. And that fight I would have picked, Movsar to win, and I think continue to grow. But you know how I feel about shit like that, where it's a slow grind for me. And I see a situation here for sure where Allen's a way better fighter than that, and I think Allen takes this.
Dude, kind of crazy that you're going this way. I'm being honest. I just got to start my analysis by saying, shout out my guy Courtney Harden. Thank you for tuning in, my guy from the Real Deal. Make sure you check out the Real Deal with Courtney Harden. I just also got to say before we move on, Courtney, I'm sorry, bro. I had to take the chip, man. I'm sorry, bro. I didn't mean to take it from you, bro. Like I know how much you wanted this fantasy football title this year, and how much it's coming to you. I'll be honest. I'm rooting for you next year, brother. I wanted to see you win, but not against me, brother. It's not gonna happen. So, Courtney, I love you, brother. I'm sorry I had to do it to you. But shout out to Isaiah Pacheco. He's the only reason we're here, god damn it. But to move on to why we're here, right? What we're actually talking about, while Sean just leaves me here in the dark. You love to see it. I am a little bit on the opposite side of the coin here. I think I agree with a lot of the points he made. I feel like this is a close fight, closer than the odds even suggest. But I generally feel that as a fan of Arnold Allen, I think his game is still a little, it needs to be reined in a little. He's not necessarily the typical style of a Faraz Zahabi trained fighter. He doesn't really have that um that that slick tight game, and obviously he's trained in so many different areas in addition to TriStar. So I'm not just saying that's his only team. If anything, he's trained a bunch now more recently with the champ Leon Edwards. But I just say all that to say, if it comes down to the gritty phases of the game, right? If we stay on the feet here, I think Allen is definitely going to touch up Mosar. But I think when we get into the different phases here, um, I think I think Allen is someone that I agree. If it lands, he's gonna hurt Mofsar, and he might even be able to swarm him. Shout out to Arwin, just going off in the chat here, like a Tesco, like a Tesco deal. Um, but I feel in general, when it comes down to this matchup, I think we're gonna end up in scenarios where we're not gonna see those extended exchanges. I think Mofsar is really good at managing his range. I think he's gonna be able to keep himself outside, and then eventually when he needs to crash into the clinch and get something going there. I'm a big fan of both these guys. I think back a lot to Arnold Allen's fight with Sadiq Yusuf, just an absolute back and forth war. And I think this fight is really going to bring the best out of both of these guys. I'm going to lean a little bit towards Mafsar Evloev here. I think it's a little bit closer than the odds suggest, right? Like I feel like, especially if Arnold Allen ends up creeping a little closer to plus 175 or something like that, I might throw some shekels down too. But I just love Evloev's game as a whole, even though obviously he's shown vulnerabilities on the feet. I don't think Arnold Allen is perfect on the feet either, right? I think there's a lot of times where he gets over eager and throws himself in the way of danger. And I think Movsar Evloev has some sneaky power that people tend to forget about because they love to highlight the different moments where he's been rocked. But I think he's just such a powerful dude, and in all phases, once again, I like picking who I think is the more well-rounded fighter, and I think Movsar Evloev has more ways to dominate here than Arnold Allen does on the feet. So give me Movsar. We've got another head-to-head matchup here, and I love the Arnold love because I agree with you, man. I think this fight is one of the best matchups we've seen in 2024. And I know the year is young, right? We can't talk too much shit, but this fight could potentially really live up in a lot of different ways, whether one guy gets a dominant win or it ends up being a real dragged out war. But give me Movsar in this one.
I like it because this another one. What is this? Our third now that we have different with each other. This is what we need,
Yep.
if and especially if it goes my way, that adds to the win
Pick
streak,
this guy.
and it just continue to pushes me further along. This I look forward to this fight a lot, though. This is like I said, this is going to be arguably the fight of the night for me. I think this has real potential to be performance of the night or even fight of the night. I think this is going to be a really really good fight. I wish it was later on in the card, but this is a nice fight to start the pay-per-view. You can get all the eyes in early so that when we get to the co-main, not to drag on the co-main, but when we get to the co-main, people are still heavily involved. So we'll see.
I love it. I love it. Next up, we get the shitter portion of the card. I'm going to be honest
Wow.
here. Every time, this is what
Wow.
bothers me about this card because I like these two fights. I'm not saying I don't want to watch these fights. I'm not saying they're bad
Yeah, you
fights.
are.
But when it's the fourth and the third fight on a pay-per-view card, it just doesn't hit the same. But we've got Chris Curtis minus 182 going up against the Power Bar, Marc Andre Barrios at plus 160. You could get Chris Curtis at minus 182. Lou Betcha's favorite fighter to hate, man. I was loving Lou's rants on the Lou and Monk show. The man was just going crazy, challenging Chris Curtis to all kinds of fights and wars, and even did it on our live show. So shout out to my guy. But most importantly, I think Curtis knocks him out here. I think obviously the path to victory, there is a Marc Andre Barrio kind of situation where we can definitely see um, the power bar live up to his nickname, right? And find a way to drain the gas tank. But I think in general, Chris Curtis is someone that when facing someone that is kind of linear like this, he plays to his strengths. He will move around and sort of keep himself on the outside in this matchup. And I think that's going to afford him a lot of opportunities to really hurt Marc Andre Barrio here. I think this one can be won in the grappling for Marc Andre Barrio. I think there is a path to victory there as well. And I love that I'm just laying out all the points for my guy Sean here. So I can't wait to hear what he's got to say. I think there definitely is a path to victory there on the wrestling and grappling side of things. I just feel like from what I've seen from both of these guys' games, when Marc Andre Barrio is forced in matchups to go for consistent takedowns like that, I think he's in a different position as a fighter, and he's already a little, how do I say this? Not gun shy, but a little risk averse in matchups like this. And I think Chris Curtis playing to his advantages on the outside is what's gonna make the difference here. So give me Chris Curtis, most likely by knockout. How you feeling?
Bro, in my little notes here, I put like little words in here so I know where to go with my talking points. And I literally put this fight has heavyweight vibes for me because I feel Curtis can come in here with some crazy first round knockout and get the job done. And that's why I picked Curtis for this fight. But I also said there's a way I put MAB for Marc Andre to win this one via points with the grappling. If Marc Andre can find a way to push this into the second round and avoid the heavy shots from Chris Curtis, I could see a situation where he takes this, via grappling. Because I think I don't find Chris Curtis's grappling to be top notch. So I could see a situation where it could end this way, but I have a real feeling this is going to be one of those like, oh shit, you got caught, and then it goes night night for you, because Chris Curtis has got some crazy hands, and the fact that he's with his boy Sean Strickland on the same card. This is going to be one of those where they just hop on the podcast in a week from now and they just talk about how they both dominated or they both won or whatever the situation could be.
Hmm.
I'm not saying
Tipping your hand
no,
here,
no, no.
Paul.
I'm not. You don't know what I'm picking for that main event yet. I don't even know what I'm picking for the main event yet. So
I like that.
it's. I'm just saying that these guys are so out of their mind that this is something that they will do. So I do see a
So out of their
situation
mind.
here that Curtis gets this first round blow, gets this crazy knockout, and all right, pause. Sorry, I can't say anything anymore.
Thank you, brother.
I see a situation where Curtis gets knocked out, but I do see a bizarre world situation where MAB gets these wins this stylistically via points, but give me Curtis.
Damn, dude. I love it. We're on the same side of the coin on this one, and very similar breakdowns too, which you love to see. Next up, we've got what I think is going to be the saddest fight of the night.
For
We've
sure.
got Neil
Oh, for
Magny
sure.
at plus 310 going up against Mike Malott minus 333, baby. Sean, I'm forcing you to go first on the co-main. I mean, on the
It's all
co-main
good.
because
I'm not going
when it
first on the
comes
main event. I'm not going
time,
first.
you are.
I've been waiting for this moment. I'm going. I hope he takes the freaking main event first because I still don't know who I want to choose for the main event. But for this one, for the co main, this is tough because I can't pick Magny here because I just don't. I think Magny's definitely towards the end of his career. I'm not saying he's going to retire. I'm just saying that I think we're on the outskirts here. But I love Magny because Magny takes any fight anytime. Like if there's ever a fight that falls out, I always feel like I could see Neil Magny's name join in at any time. And this is one of those times, but it's just I feel for him more because of everything that happened in the Ian Gary fight. I feel like his reputation has been not tarnished, but I feel like a lot of people have looked at him differently. And I know he's battling some issues there because of the things that Ian Gary has said about him, and in the fact that Ian Gary just absolutely annihilated him. That was rough to see because I'm an Ian Gary fan. I know not a lot of people are, but it was one of those situations where I was like, I really hope Magny kind of just cracks him in the mouth because he deserves it, but it didn't happen. So it just goes to show though that I love Magny, I really do, but I just see Mike just standing up here, and I think he actually proves, kind of what Ian Gary did, and just toys with him a bit. And this is different from Mike, but I just think Mike's stylistically a way better fighter at this current moment in time. And I'm not even a big fan of Mike, to be honest with you. Like I think Mike Mallett's all right, but I just think Magny's at the end here, and I think this is easy pickings for me.
Wow, that's crazy, dude. That is
And I'm
crazy.
sorry.
He's going Mike Malott. He's going Mike Malott big time.
Please
Listen,
go Magny, because I'll be happy for
look
you.
at this matchup. Look at this matchup here. Look at the disparities in size. This man is
Yes.
almost 4 inches taller, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. Has a bunch of reach on this man. His style is to keep people on the outside. Yes, of course, he got chewed up by some leg kicks. I don't think Mike Malott is that kind of a leg kicker at range, and I don't think many people have the boxing of Ian Gary, regardless of how much I hate that man. I do agree with what you said as far as him being a sleazeball and what they did to literally change, I would imagine, the course of Neil Magny's relationship with his ex and his children and a whole bunch of other things when he's such a fucking soy boy and so soft when people are talking about his wife and talking about his scenarios. Meanwhile, he brings all this shit onto himself. So yes, I agree with you. Would love nothing more than to see the Neil Magny revenge tour. And there was once upon a time where this was the matchup, right? This is the I'll catch you in the clinch. We'll meet up there. I'll turn you onto the fence. I'll rinse and repeat. I'll throw some jabs. Might even get some top control. And the next thing you know, I got a decision win for Magny. That sounds like a fucking plan to me. So give me Mike Malott by knockout because Neil Magny is absolutely washed at this point in his career. And I hate to say it. I hate to be the guy to deliver the news. But man, it is an expeditiously different person out there,
Wow.
man, from who he was and his prime and his ability to put on a fucking pace on guys. I haven't seen that Neil Magny in over 4 fights now, where he's really dogged on putting on a pace and they can't stop him from doing that. I just feel like, yeah, shout out to my guy Arwin. They're fucking hoeing Magny here, man. The fact that he is still at this status and level of his career is deserved because of what he's accomplished. But man, he hasn't been that guy for a while now, and you're not that guy anymore, buddy. I'm going with Mike Malott here, but I will say, if we end up with the bell ringing at round motherfucking 3, I will be placing a live bet on Neil
I
Magny.
like it.
I'm just saying, because I do feel like Mike Malott has shown some, how do we say this, some vulnerabilities as the fight goes on, especially when they're wars, right? And I imagine that at some point a fist fight's going to break out between these two gentlemen. And I think Mike Malott's going to catch him, despite being the shorter fighter. He's just way more explosive at this stage. So give me Mike Malott. God damn it! You like how I did that, right?
Yeah, I
Gotta
really
warm.
thought for a split second you were gonna take Magny. Like you were toying him up a little bit. You were caressing him. I know, pause, but not really for you. But I thought you were really going for it there. And then you just that whole flip of yeah, Mike by knockout. Like it's just that's how I felt. That's how I felt in the Ian Gary fight. You just saw Magny like not just lose a step, but look like he lost 2 or 3 steps. It just looked very, very one sided, and it's been like that for at least 2 or 3 fights
Phil
now.
Hawes, man.
Yeah,
Phil,
that's very true.
that fight was strange,
Very.
dude. That fight was strange. It was like the Spider-Man meme. Like the whole fight was the Spider-Man meme, and none of them were better at the other of being themselves.
Yeah,
Right? Like
100%.
that's so strange. But anyway, we move on to our co-main events. I can't wait to hear Arwen's thoughts on this one. We've got Rocky Pennington plus 150, despite being the leading name on the bill, going up against Maida Bueno Silva, fresh off of a suspension for performance enhancing drugs, just making her way straight into a title shot, baby. This is for the vacant bantamweight women's title of the world. Obviously, we have a void to fill now that Amanda Nunes have moved on to, I'm sure, beating uh, one Nina Nunez's cheeks in all night. Shout out to Amanda Nunes. Please enjoy your retirement. But as far as this matchup goes, man, I had a fun time with this one. Like I went along a journey here when I was deciding where I was going with this. I think initially a lot of what I was thinking was, hey, man, Myra's not really battle tested as far as making it into the later rounds. It feels like um, there's a lot that needs to be overcome in this matchup against Rocky Pennington. And then I watched Rocky's title fights, and I'm like, man, all the things that I've seen other people do well against her, I think Myra Buena Silva does well. I'm looking at you, little step up leg kicks. I love the way Maida Buena Silva attacks the legs and the body consistently, changes up ranges constantly to sort of make her opponents really not sure of what is coming next from where. I'm not even sure Mayra Buena Silva knows what's coming next from where, which makes her a really fun fighter to watch. I think there's also a level of chaos in that I think Raquel Pennington's steady Eddie approach could really give her some success here. Um, no matter the way I go back forth on this fight, I just feel like I gotta go with in this matchup. Maybe I'm tipping my hand a little there in saying that. But in this matchup, I got to go with the fighter that I think is the more dynamic athlete that has the bigger finishing potential. And most likely is the only fighter I would imagine getting a submission in this matchup. But I will say this is another situation where, as this fight continues to go longer, I'm worried, right? I get more and more worried. But I think ultimately we have already been proven as far as who is the more dangerous athlete. Loved Shitara's rant in the in the press conference where she's just like, "I watch your fights and everyone's sleeping, even Dana White." Like that shit was hilarious. I love me some good trash talk and broken English. So like my guy Arwin agrees with me. Myra's eating up. I'm going Myra Buena Silva, baby. How you feeling, Sean?
I feel the same way here, but in this one, I actually contemplated for a while. I think I came to my decision this morning. This one, I feel like Pennington's with the old school and Myra's the new school. Especially for Myra, this is the new school of like Brazilian women's MMA in this division. Like, there's a lot of Brazilians coming into this division. She's at the top right now, and I know Pennington gets her second crack at this. And this is kind of weird because this is like that win. I didn't expect her to beat Vieira. That was a fight where I picked it the other way. And then same thing for Bueno Silva. Thank God Bueno Silva won against Holly Holm, man. I have said this a million times. I can't stand to see Holly Holm in a main event anymore. I can't do it. I just can't do it. Every time I see her name, it gets under my skin. And it's just, I've had enough. I've had enough of this little fun little Holly Holm brigade. Yes, crazy, amazing fight against Ronda Rousey fucking a decade ago. It was great. I loved it. Awesome. But I'm glad that is over. Like it never turned into anything more. Yes, she's always been a top contender, but she has never claimed the throne again. Like, she's never been what she was. That was her peak. It was it. But we're talking about it 8 years later like it's coming back. But you know what? It's such a weaker division at this current moment that if Holly Holm had pulled that off, which I did, I think I picked her to win in that moment. I thought she would have had a title fight, unfortunately. So the fact that she lost, but then it got turned into a no contest, I don't care. Give Bueno Silva a title fight. That works for me. So, you know what? Just so, at UFC 300, when they announce Ronda Rousey's coming back, she'll fight the winner of these two, whoever wins this. I'm in conspiracy mode.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
And you know what? Then, Ronda can claim her throne once more and then retire again. And then that's it. She can have an old belt to the new belt. I'm just out here throwing in conspiracies. That's all. That's all I'm about. This is a GSP Bisping situation we got going on. But and for real though, yes, I think that this is going to be a fight where Bueno Silva, I think, dominates from like 2, 3, 4 on. I think Pennington could be solid in round 1 and kind of turn the tide here. But I just think that for the longer this fight goes, this is going to be Bueno Silva's fight to lose. And I honestly, I can see a sub. I'm going with a sub in round 4. I'm going different here.
Sub in round 4
Yep.
is fucking strange.
Yep. I'm
lie.
going different.
Hey, brother, there's a chance I might be getting swatted right now. There's some lights going on out there. I don't know what the fuck is going on right now, but if we got further updates, I'll definitely let you guys know.
Yeah, we're almost there.
But as far as we're almost there. We're pulling it through. As far as all the points you said, I'm not gonna lie. The only thing I have to add is when Myra Buena Silva wins this fight, right? We're going that convicted.
Uh-huh.
When she wins this fight, you know what's gonna overcome me? The feeling of sadness, right? Because if there's one fight that we needed to see before Amanda Nunes retired, it was not the Aldana fight. It was this one,
for
if
sure.
you ask me. Just because of what she brings to the table and the kind of matchup it would have been, Brazil versus Brazil. Would have loved to see
we'll get
that.
Bueno
Obviously,
Silva
that's
versus
not the
Pena.
world we live in.
That's what's next.
Oh my God, I can't wait. Yeah, Pena's gonna get smoked in that fight, right?
I know you can't wait for that one.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. There's nothing worse than Juliana Pena's annual post where she has 2 different fighters from her division.
Hold on a second. I think you cut out. I can't hear you no more. Is it me? Oh, there you are. You're back now. You're back.
What?
Yeah, you
What?
cut out
Really?
right when you got to
Okay.
Pena posting.
Oh yeah, Pena posts all the time. Every single year, it looks like annually, two different fighters from her division sitting on her lap as children, right? Like after she gave birth to her first child, this is now her running gimmick that I am the mother of all fighters. Just an absolute cringe lord and someone that at what is she 35 now? Like she's on the other side of things as well. And obviously, you hate to see what happened to her. I honestly felt like all things considered, a trilogy might have been warranted,
Hmm.
but we'll leave that conversation there because I don't want to see Juliana Pena succeeding. But our main event has arrived. God damn it! A middleweight title fight between America's champion Sean Strickland minus 105 going up against the apartheid aggressor himself, Dricus Duplessis. Sean, you already know who I'm throwing to because this is your fight. I did the co-main event,
Oh yeah,
so
so
this
tough
is
for
your
you.
fight. Yeah.
Yeah, man, this is tough, man. This is still at this moment I'm having a tough time choosing because if this was 6 months ago, I would say Driscus all day here. Like I would think Driscus is the better fighter, but because both of them have had such crazy wins against opponents that no one thought that they would win against, I give a lot of credit to Sean here because Sean went out there and faced Imavov and Abus and was able to pull up great dominating wins, especially the Abus fight. Fuck Abus. Still to this day, I can't stand him. But that fight, like,
A boost, a boost.
it's Abus to me now. So
I like it.
that's what, like, that was such a big moment. And yes, Strickland got a title fight based off of the fact Adesanya watched the rest of the division. No one was able to fight in that moment. It was almost perfect for Strickland to just get thrown in there for a tune-up fight, add to the red diamond thrown onto the belt. It was perfect for Adesanya. It would have set up the Driscoll fight. Everything was perfect. But the fact that Strickland won 4 rounds to 1, put on this incredible performance, pushed the pace, was so good defensively. Adesanya was in a different world in that fight. Was it Adesanya lost or was it Strickland won? That's been still to this day the biggest talking point regarding that fight. And that's why Adesanya hasn't fought since. He's taken some time. But I got to give Driscus, the credit too. Driscus forced Eric Brunson into the PFL by bouncing his head off the canvas a million times. And then, went into facing Robert Whitaker and made that such a one-sided fight from the start that I haven't seen Robert Whitaker since. So we're seeing a new regime here so far in this division. It's not the same. At this moment, we should have had Adesanya Whitaker 3. That was like the big talk of what was supposed to happen that night, and it just went completely flipped into something else. So this is a fantastic fight, and it makes it very tough to choose because I would love to choose Strickland, but I'd love to choose Driscus at the same time because what it entails is if Driscus wins, then you set up Adesanya title fight, which I don't want, but at the same time, I understand why it would be made. And then if Strickland wins, then you got Hamzat in the wings. So this is such a tough fight, man. I am still sitting here thinking who's gonna win, and I want to say Strickland with all my heart here. I really do, because I think they're just gonna go out and fucking throw hands. Someone's gonna die, but I think Driscus is the better fighter. But you know what? I don't give a shit. I'm going Sean Strickland here. I don't care.
Wow.
It
look
took
at
me
this
till this
guy.
exact moment to flip
Pulling
the
the Chris.
script. To flip the freaking script. I'm going with Strickland here because he's out of his fucking mind. And I think they're gonna absolutely just stand there, stand and bang. It might take a little bit, to get started. They might be slow trying to get each other's, because Driscus is very, very uncomfortable. He's weird. He's a very different type of fighter, and even when he throws and the way his body moves is fucking weird. And he's a different fighter. And Sean, though, same thing. He's got that Philly boxing sort of situation there, and I don't.
Philly boxing.
I'm calling Philly boxing here. It's a different style that we don't see in the UFC at all, and This is one of those where I don't think it's going to be as masterful as that because we could see, we've seen it get pieced up with Pereira, but this is a very close fight. And I think it's going to be whoever wins that round one that is who I'd feel comfortable with for the rest of the fight. But in this moment, I don't give a fuck. Give me Sean Strickland. But I absolutely could see
Wow.
Triscus as winning this fight and then fighting Adesanya.
All right, bro. Give me something to fucking talk about, bro. You gonna keep going or what?
Dude,
Fuck.
you gave me this fight,
Shit!
and you knew I didn't know who to choose, so I had to not only convince the fans out here, I had to convince myself, and I still haven't done it.
I like it. I like it. I'm gonna be real with you, man. As far as the outlook of this matchup, I agree with a lot of things you said about Drickus, man. I think if he can really put it on Sean, he's definitely gonna hurt him. I think at some point Sean is gonna get cracked, like at some point in this fight. Um, and that really worries me, man, because what we've been able to see from Drickus as far as his finishing power and putting people away has been something otherworldly. But I'm gonna be real with you here. There's this thing that I've learned from my time playing competitive Pokemon, right? It's a hilarious fucking thing to say out loud, right? There's some things that I've learned, right? Where sometimes you make a play, right? You make a play. So hear me out here. I don't know if you're aware of how this works, brother, but you're facing someone in a turn based game, right? You make a play because you assume that someone is going to do something, right? So you try to put yourself in a better advantage because you're trying to predict what they're going to do, right? So you make the play thinking that you're making a play, right? The turn ends, they don't do what you thought they were going to do. And then you're sitting there like, ah, shit, we're here again. Now, where this becomes relevant is whenever I make that mistake, whenever I try to make a play and they don't make it, and I make the wrong play, the next time I'm in that scenario, if there is another time I'm in that scenario, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make that fucking play again. Because even though it was the wrong play and it didn't work out, if it's the fucking right play, it ain't gonna be wrong twice. All right. And the reason why I say all of this is I think at some point, yes, Drickus is gonna hurt Sean Strickland. Drickus is gonna put it on Sean Strickland. Um, but I think if Sean Strickland has any saving grace in this fight, it's because of his parry focused game, his ability to prevent strikes from getting to him before they even are released, right? And I don't think the way Pereira was able to play the game and find space in between those feints exists for an option for Drickus. When I watched him fight and I broke down the stylistic matchup between Whitakers, till this day, if they fight again, you know who I'm picking? Robert Whitaker. And that's the reason why I gave you that whole analogy, because I genuinely believe that Sean Strickland, what am I saying here? That Drickus Duplessis is a lot more brute power and muscle than he is technical on the feet. And I think he has shown against every single fighter he's faced besides Robert Whitaker, because Robert Whitaker got smoked. Against bums, Brad Tavares, I'm not looking at you, but everyone else that he's fought in the UFC has been bum league only, and he's always gassed. And this is the cardio guy. This is the modern Diaz brother. Let's go for a run and let's see who quits first. And I think ultimately in this matchup, I agree with you. I'm going to be picking Sean Strickland. I don't like it, right? I don't want him to win, if I'm being real. I think a lot of the shit he says is
No,
deplorable.
I
And I
want him
think
to
he's
win.
an even, no. I think he's an even more uh, fucking outrageous
Oh, for sure.
symbol to what a lot of this MMA fan base unfortunately enjoys. I don't understand how, but
I love it.
um,
I love it
how
because
dare you?
it not because of
How dare you? Wait, let's have an argument about
no,
this.
because
Go
I'm
ahead.
not saying I agree with
Now
what
you
he's
get me
saying,
started.
okay? But I love that it hurts people's feelings.
But it's
That's
not about hurting
oh,
feelings, though. What
that's
he's saying is unequivocally just brain dead
sure.
things. Honestly, I don't even think he really believes. Like, look at the shirts he's selling. The things that do you honestly believe that he is going to run for president? That he thinks he is making MMA great again? Hell no. Like, I don't think he believes that for a second. I think everything that comes out of his mouth from the beginning of his career, he is not a consistent human being. He has not always been this strange, I'm going to talk shit. I'm sorry, bro. I went off on a rant here. He has not been this person consistently throughout his life. This is something that he is now, like everyone else, has like, hold on, hold on. If I say some crazy shit, people are going to like me more even if I'm saying shit that I don't necessarily believe. That's who I think Sean Strickland is. I genuinely do not think that he is someone that believes half the shit that he's spewing in these press conferences. Now, do I think he has a dull worldview? 100%. I do think people get sensitive, right? That's a word you said. People get sensitive about Sean Strickland. I think rightfully so. I think a lot of the shit he says, once again, is egregious. But at the end of the day, we're looking at the fighter here, right? We're looking at the fighter. And ultimately, whenever I shake it up, whenever I look back at this, I'm definitely leaning towards Sean Strickland just because of that longevity factor. I can see a world, which is why the odds are the way they are, where Sean Strickland gets absolutely torched early and it's over, right? There's nothing else to talk about. The Dricus Duplessis is the champ, and we'll see Adesanya at UFC 300. But until we get there, I just have to believe that Sean Strickland should be able to get it done, to be the more well-rounded MMA fighter and not just be forced to get a finish here. So we've been rambling. I've lost my guy Sean. I don't know where he is. I don't know if he'll ever come back. I don't know how uh, I'm gonna stretch this out. But in the meantime, it's only right that I continue to babble here, right? So shout out to everyone that's joined us on the live stream today. You guys have really made it a special experience for me. I'm loving interacting with you guys, getting your comments up on the screen, and just get a sense of how you guys feel. Right, because this show isn't all about us, right? This show is about all of us. We want us to collectively feel things, and most importantly, uh, move each other to a sense where let me invite this guy again because look, he's not even available to join anymore. Let me invite this guy on Twitter. Shout out to Sean. I'm sorry your internet went out, but your internet shit, and that's your fault. Here we go. Okay, look at this runaway train almost got away from me, but god damn it. God damn it, I'm not going to let this runaway train derail because my guy Sean is back. There's no way I
Jesus.
can let this runaway train derail. And you left in the middle of my rant for a second there.
I
I
know,
thought
I'm
you was just
sorry.
froze. I thought you purposely froze and just stood there, which was pretty funny.
I
Shout out
froze
to
to the
the
punchline.
mobile. Can you put the phone sideways at least? Can we
You know what?
act like
Here.
we care a little bit here?
Does that work
Look
here?
at this
Look
fucking
at
guy. Look at
this.
this guy. Look at this guy.
Look at me.
Shout out to Long Island, bro. Made it back strong. But uh, before we left off so rudely, before I was so rudely interrupted, I went on a full fledged rant about how I genuinely believe that a lot of the shit that Sean Strickland says, he doesn't even really believe himself. I think a lot
Yeah.
of the shit he says, he's just saying because he sees the trend, right? He sees that talking a lot of shit and saying dumb things is way more important than saying things of substance and things that make sense to this fan base. And I think ultimately the progression of him becoming this edge lord at this stage of his career, I hate that it coincides with him finding his way as far as his style because I've always liked Sean Strickland even when he was at 170. Like, I've always been a fan of his game. I think he's a special fighter. I think he does things that not a lot of people can do. I think he's abandoned his ground game at middleweight. I think he stopped focusing on that being a viable strategy, and obviously, he always wants to go out there and do the man dance with whoever's out there. But I just hate that. I feel like there's a world out there where we get the genuine Strickland the entire way. And he's actually a pretty fucking nice dude, right? Like, he's a
Yeah.
nice dude with a redeemable story. But the fact that we've went full fucking MAGA beer drinking freedom of speech, but when you say something about me that hurts my feelings, I'm gonna start screaming at the top of my lungs. Like, the dude is at this point, I'm just so tired of the shtick. So I wouldn't mind to see Drickus get the knockout here. But ultimately, I think skills pay the bills, and I think Sean Strickland, despite being a little bit janky, despite not being what people think of when they think of technique, I think he's a much more technical fighter in this matchup, but an edge lord nonetheless.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think cardio, like you said, will definitely play a factor here, and I absolutely see a situation where Strickland remains the champion. And I actually wanted to ask you, but if let's read some tea leaves here and go into the future. Um, let's say Strickland wins, like we predict. Is Hamzat next, or is it the winner of Costa versus Whitaker next? Is Adesanya after one more fight next? What do you see next in this division? If if you think Driscus wins, what do you see next regarding who's the next contender for the title?
Muted here. I got ahead of myself.
Yeah, you got ahead
No
of yourself
matter
there.
which, no matter which one of these fighters win, in my opinion, the biggest and most important fight that can be made is Israel Adesanya. Whether or not that gets done, whether or not that's something he is interested in, I don't have a firm grasp on. But I won't be surprised if either of these guys goes on to headline UFC 300. I'm honestly anticipating that to a certain extent. We shall see. But I think Adesanya is definitely going to have his number called, so to speak, in 2024. We'll keep an eye out for that. But as far as the rest of this matchup goes, if it's Sean Strickland, I think the first option, no matter what, has to be Adesanya if it's available. Even though he lost that match one-sidedly, that's the biggest fight he could get possibly. And I think there's intrigue in seeing that matchup from both sides, right? For different reasons, but fair is fair. I think no matter what, Kamzat is deserved the title shot that he has spoken about. He has mentioned, you get so mad at that. He has mentioned that he wants to fight on 300. So that's something to keep an eye out for. I think if Adesanya is not available, I think no matter what, he might be that guy that they're willing to call if Adesanya isn't available. But all things considered, I think ultimately middleweight is kind of at a weird place right now where um, no matter what happens, there isn't a clear next guy up. It's a lot of guys that have surged through and now find themselves at the top at the same time, right? So that's why I like this fight too a lot. I think this main event's going to give us a lot of clarity on this division and definitely put us in a lot better situation for sure to get an idea of where middleweight is headed. Our guy Arwin suggested Sean is gonna oh, he gotta re-break Dricus's nose. The mythical nasal surgery Dricus Duplessis. Sean, do you think that that is an actual X factor the way everyone has been boasting it to be? Do you think
No.
surgically repaired Dricus is ready to keep together South Africa?
I don't think that has anything to do with the X factor, but I do. I guess it can play a part. I just don't think it's going to be significant. But um, it's going to be a very, 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 very good fight. Very close. And to answer my own
I hate that I strayed. Yes, I was gonna say it.
to
Please go
answer my
back. Let us
own
know where you
question,
think the division's headed.
I think there's some. It's interesting. Hamzat, I laughed because you got close to calling him what Colby Covington calls him, and so I was like, "Oh,
No, I did not.
you a little
No, I did
dicey
not.
there."
There's no way.
And
Wow, look at
so,
that.
uh, but besides that, I don't know. You know, I want to see different. I don't think Adesanya. If it's Sean Strickland, I don't think Adesanya deserves it because he won it, he lost it, then he won it again, then he lost it again. You know, he's battled with the title. I think he needs a contender fight and then get back to it. I get it. He's decorated champion. He's going to go down the Hall of Fame. I get it. You know, whatever. But I do think he does. He needs it. But if it's Triscus, I think Adesanya is absolutely next because of that rivalry that was supposed to happen. That fight was made to happen, and then Triscus didn't take the fight supposedly. Whatever happened there, which led to Strickland taking it. So this because Triscus didn't take the fight, it is derailed to this moment where this alternate universe is taken over. We are in Back to the Future 2, where Strickland is the champion now. He beats Adesanya, and now Driscus has to come in and get back to 1985 and not 1985A. So that's where we are. We're just in this different capsule right now. So in this moment, if Strickland wins, I wouldn't mind it. I know people are going to argue it. I would not mind seeing Whitaker Costa winner fight Strickland next. I don't want to see Hamzat because Hamzat hasn't fought anyone in this division yet. He took on a last second replacement in Kamaru, and if that fight went 5 rounds, I think Kamaru wins that fight. So I don't want that fight, but I know that's probably what they're going to end up doing. I would love to see difference here and get Whitaker one final crack at it because I don't think he'll ever get another title shot at it. But just me setting time aside here. But if he's really up for 300, then yes, Adesanya would probably headline with that. For Driscus, like I said, it's going to be Adesanya for sure, and then after that, it'll probably be Hamzat versus winner of Costa versus Whitaker, because that would it was supposed to be Costa versus Hamzat before, and then that would happen again. But I don't want to ever see Costa ever in a title fight again. That dude can't stay on a fucking card to save his life. So
I was about to say, there's a lot of fighters at middleweight that I don't want to see involved in the title picture at all,
neither.
and most of
he's
them
one
are
of them.
right there.
I know.
Like, there's so many guys that are waiting to break through that I feel honestly could beat these guys, like that are in this
But
division
would
just
you
chilling.
want
Shout out
Whitaker
to
to
Bo
get one more
Nickel.
shot?
Hell no, just give me Bo Nickel right now. Just give me Bo
Really?
Nickel
Shut
for the
the fuck
title.
up.
Give me Bo Nickel
Bo
for the
Nickel
title.
right now. This is
100%.
gonna be
Give me
the
Bo
first
Nickel
fight at
right
UFC
now, bro.
300. Give him right now.
Right fucking now. Just give me the title fight right now, because that is the real champion right there at
Oh
185.
my god, this guy
If
is
anything has
on
convinced
the
me of
meat
this,
right now.
it is
This
the
guy's at
Sean
Arby's.
Strickland title reign. Yes, we've got the meats, brother. We've got the meats.
Oh boy.
But we've went on our rants here. I think we're
Yes.
done. We've got so many different, but we've got to make sure that we do our favorite part of the show, right?
Yes.
It's my favorite part of the show, you piece of shit. I hope you feel the same way. We've got Dynasty MMA, baby. We're bringing it full circle because we're back in 2024, and it's only right that we're picking fighters on a card that none of us
This is
own
tough for
any
me.
fighters on. So I'm excited that we've got a couple people watching live here that we get to enjoy this situation with. So I'm going to explain the full Dynasty MMA situation once again. So to make a long story short, both of us have 4 picks here. If I'm not mistaken, yes, Sean owns the first pick. After Sean, the goal here is to pick fighters that are going to remain on our dynasty team forevermore until the end of time. All of these fighters that we have picked throughout 2023 are still on our team. And every week, if any of those fighters compete, their record goes towards our total record for dynasty. As of right now, I am currently in the lead pretty comfortably because although I'm only 1 win ahead of Sean, I've got like 6 losses on him. So that feels good. But obviously, success is rented, never owned. And of course, it's time to begin our 2024 first pay-per-view of the year. Motherfucker, let me finish. First pay-per-view of the year. Dynasty draft, first overall pick, Sean. Ask for help now. The people at home, when you look at this card, put it in the chat. Who do you think should be the first overall pick? Who do you think has the most potential to get the most wins for you throughout their career in the UFC? Think about that. Let us know. But while you ponder, why don't we make Sean think even harder? Sean, it is your turn to shine.
I need you to put it on. I need you to put it on the screen for me because I can't see my picks. I can't see anything because my internet's out.
Look at this guy.
So I'm on my phone. I can't change the page. So
okay, you think I know how to do this, brother? Look at this.
Come on.
Okay, share screen, right? Fuck,
yep.
You're gonna see the porn and all the other things I have, all the other debauchery I've got going on here. Is that live? Are we good?
That's good. That is perfect.
If I click here, is it still? Yes. Look at that technology. Fucking technology. All right, brother.
I gotta zoom in.
You've got the number 1 overall pick. I've helped you as much as I can. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. You don't remember none of the fighters that are fighting,
dude,
brother?
I
we just spent
nothing.
2 hours talking about talking about all the guys on this card, and this guy looks like someone's on Facebook taking selfies. Just
Yes, I do. Right now, I do look like that. Hold on, because it's so small for me. Hold on.
just fucking taking selfies here.
All
Just
right.
all I see is nose and teeth.
Hey, you're welcome.
Yeah, you're
All
right.
right.
It
Do
is
I?
a
Do I?
blessing.
See, I love to change it up and just do something so outlandish because every time I get the first pick, I hate it. Oh God, you got me. You got me. You got me monologuing. Give me Mofsar here.
I do. You literally are. What did you say?
Mofsar.
I already knew. I highlighted it already. It broke my heart nonetheless, but it was very predictable that this is where we're gonna end up, right? Um,
Come
yeah, this
on.
isn't fun, bro. Can we not? Can we just stop now?
Well, we're gonna
Do
have
we
to get
have to
to a
still pick
point
people?
where we're gonna have to decide. Maybe even sometime during like halfway through this year, where we're gonna probably have to do like 3 fighters per card because we're gonna get to a
I
point
don't
where
think so. I think people are gonna start getting cut, and then we're gonna be like, oh yeah, actually we don't need to do
I
this.
guess we'll
But
see.
we'll see. We'll
Hopefully, we
see.
don't get to a point where it's
Um,
not the entire card.
Yeah, literally, we just have every person on the card is fighting. I mean, it's gonna happen, right? I'm gonna go with my second overall pick. First for me, I'm obviously gonna go with Sean Strickland, and
Wow, you
then I might catch
bastard.
some people off guard here. But I'm also gonna go with one Maida Bueno Silva. So
Damn
give me
it! That was
two
my next one. Ooh.
championship level fighters that I would imagine should be able to get it done this week. Go ahead, brother. How you feeling?
All right, give me Arnold Allen.
Look at that. Yeah, that's a huge fourth pick, not gonna lie. Huge fourth pick. Kind of feel stupid that I didn't grab him, but go ahead.
Yeah, good.
Look at
And
this guy.
you know what? I don't like it.
This
I
is
don't like it.
quality live show right here. This is fucking half this guy's face. I'm looking here into the stars. It's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. You got to change up that seventh and eighth pick. We're not going back and forth. You get the sixth and seventh. I get the eighth, don't I?
How did this happen?
We could do it that way. That's a win for me.
Yeah, it is a win for you. Sean, Krill. Yeah, I did this completely wrong. I don't know how that happened. Thank you
Oh
for
man,
catching that. Yeah, you catch my mistakes always, brother.
I do the best I can. Now I'm contemplating on two right now, but you know what?
All right, bro. I'm gonna need you to hurry up. Yeah.
Wow. All right, it's like that now. All right, you know what? Give me Sergey here.
Who?
Sergey.
Who the fuck is that guy? All right. Who the fuck is that
I'm
guy?
changing it
Oh,
up
you're
here.
crazy.
I
The
am.
fact that those are the people you picked here
I
is
am.
actually ridiculous.
That's the
Give
point.
me Canada's own Mike Malott.
Yep.
And then to end it all off, I'm gonna go with one that probably not many people saw. I'm lying. Give me Brad Katona.
Very nice. I was gonna do Mike, but I don't
Another
believe in his.
bantamweight to the rosters, baby.
I don't believe in his career beyond this fight. I don't.
How dare you? What the hell?
I know.
How dare you?
I'm an asshole.
And then he's gonna pick Chris Curtis, the real belief
No, I'm
in
not picking
careers,
Chris
right?
Curtis, buddy. Oh man. Give me I don't believe in Ramon. Can't make weight.
This is hilarious. Do you ever consider Dynasty before we record, or is it just like
No.
vibes?
Because
It's just vibes.
because I know I'll overthink it and then I'll be like, oh, I got it, and then you always take like 4 of the 5 that I want. I'm going with where is he? Give me, you know what? Changing it up again. You know what? Give me Driscus here. Last second, I was
I
about to
like it.
pick Johan,
I like it.
but I was like, you know what? Give me Driscus.
Yeah, Drickus is way better than Johan. Uh, all right. Well, look at that, brother. just like that, we have done it. We have finished our dynasty draft, so let's put together the compilation of our teams for this week. We've got Mofsar Ivloev in Sean's number one slot. His second pick is Arnold Allen, which is pretty fun because we got a tie here. No matter what, he's going one and
Yep.
one. Next up, we've got Sergey Saidai. Who the fuck is that guy? Throw him in there, right there. And then, most importantly, we have Drickus, Third Reichus Duplessis. Um, the most subtly racist man. When the most subtly racist man is standing up next to the most egregiously racist man, he appears to be a white knight of sorts.
That's
But
right.
we will go on to my dynasty picks after that. I've got one Sean Strickland. I've got Maida Bueno. I don't know why I did that because I still need to do the rest of it. But we have Maida Bueno Silva. We have young Mike Malott, which I think I'm actually very excited to get at the sixth pick, not gonna lie. And then we've got Brad Katona with our seventh overall. So we've got a nice little slate here. I think
You
both
do.
of us did go with the best on the board. There's nothing I'm
This
too
guy
mad
said, "Who the
about.
fuck is that guy?" Now
But
he's saying the best
yeah,
on the
no.
board.
Sergey,
Amazing.
hey, look. Sergey, although I'm dubious to say the least. I think I'd rather have Sergey than Chris Curtis, and I think having fighters in those weight classes is always better than having
Yes.
fighters in higher weight classes. But just like that, if there's anyone that wants to contribute with who they would pick their number one overall, please let us know. But until then, Sean, I just gotta say, man, this was a fucking blast.
This
This
was.
was really fun for me, and I hope it was as welcome of a return for you to be back in the flesh, talking fights. Even though you can't hear what I'm saying, you can feel it, brother.
Yes, man, this was awesome. I missed it. I missed it. I felt so bad that I kept you hidden from the UFC game for a little bit, and I'm glad to have overcome whatever this thing is. Hopefully, I can hear out of my left ear again soon, and the side effects go away. But besides that, I am very much looking forward to this UFC 297. Man, we have a great 2024 ahead of us. 298 is going to be fun. 299 is going to be incredible. 300 is supposed to be amazing. Even the fight nights we have, I get to see my boy Brandon Moreno coming back. We got Rose Namajunas coming and returning. Dude, this is going to be a very fun quarter one, 2024, even quarter two. So this is a lot of fun, man. 2023 was great. 2024 is going to be even better. I'm going to come back and win in Dynasty along with
Ha!
making sure I dominate in picks and have something to talk about in December 2024, January 2025, and have a good year.
I love it. This dude is just a fucking mensch, a sweetheart of all sweethearts. It's always a blast, but honestly, I think we were in rare form today. I think I showed up at about a B minus, and you showed up at like a fucking A. So I got to show up. I got to show up a little better, despite having all my senses with me. But it's only right that we thank the fans. Thank you so much
Yes.
for being a part of this. It's been awesome. I can't wait to continue the conversation however else we can. But most importantly, just remind the folks at home, no matter what you have going on in life, no matter what you think you need to say to make yourself feel a good way or make yourself think that you are the person that a lot of people say you are, just remember, folks,
This guy put me on the
if
little
you are
screen.
forced, if you are forced to be someone like Sean Strickland in order to make your career relevant, God damn it, the skills might not have ever done it by themselves. So next time you look in the mirror and you pull out all the most egregious shit you possibly can, just remember to not start crying when everyone pulls your trump card and roasts you back, brother, because
Hey, I'd rather be
nothing's
Strickland than
better than
Covington. All right.
seeing people like Ian Gary and Sean Strickland be the most sensitive motherfuckers in the world, despite all the dumb shit they say. But with all that being said, don't get your panties in a bunch. Make sure that you're ready for 297. We're fucking done. Peace. Catch you guys next time.